For our topic on crop protection today, we will be talking about abiotic diseases. So question, what are abiotic diseases? Well, before answering that, we need to, in order to answer that, we need to contrast biotic and abiotic diseases. And with the word biotic diseases, with the word bio here, this means that these diseases are caused by agents which are living in nature. So for example, yung mga pathogenic microorganisms natin, like our bacteria, virus, fungi. It can also include some animals. It can also include insects because they are living things. Ang kabaliktaran ng biotic diseases are abiotic diseases naman. They are mainly caused by factors that are non-living, abiotic factors. So probably extreme exposure to sunlight, probably cold, probably typhoon, probably nutrient deficiency, and so on and so forth. So yun lang yung titignan natin dyan na comparison between the two. Biotic diseases caused by living agents. Abiotic diseases, with the word abio, non-living naman yung cause ng mga sakit na yan or injury or stress. Now, ang magpo-focus tayo for this discussion on abiotic diseases. Now, what are some kinds of abiotic diseases? Some kinds of abiotic diseases includes injury caused by adverse physical factors, such as kapag masyadong mababa yung temperature mo. We can categorize that into two, freezing injury and chilling injury. Freezing injury means ang temperature mo is 0 degrees Celsius or pababa. Mapapansin mo talaga na nagkakaroon, isa sa mga symptoms niyan is that yung halaman magkakaroon talaga ng ice crystals that disrupts yung cell wall ng halaman na yon and later on will destroy it. So that's freezing injury. Kapag chilling injury naman, wala kang makikitang ice formation, but the temperature here is above 0 degrees Celsius, but still malamig pa rin. So mostly ang makikita natin na symptom dyan is a wet-like formation doon sa dahon ng halaman and a damping look doon sa halaman na para ba siyang something like basang-basa. So that's too low temperature. Another one, which is still included in adverse physical factor, would be too high temperature naman. For example, sun scalding. Yung halaman mo is na-expose ng biglaan sa sobrang init ng araw. Magkakaroon yan ng sun scald. That is symptom na parang nagwa-whiten, nagbi-bleach yung dahon ng halaman mo. Alam mong na sun scald na yung halaman mo because it was exposed to the sun. It was exposed to the strong sunlight without it, hindi pa siya nakaka-adjust ng maayos. Another one would be heat necrosis sa potato. And yung symptom na yan, makapansin natin doon sa bagong harvest pa lang na patatas kapag sobrang init ng field. Yung mga patatas na affected during this time is yung mga patatas na nasa malapit sa surface level ng soil and sobrang init ng field. Heat necrosis of potato can also be observed sa storage area ng patatas. Kapag yung storage area na yun ay sobrang init, walang proper ventilation, and hindi masyadong nakakaikot ang hangin. Another one would be lack of oxygen, which is related doon sa heat necrosis of potato, yung black heart na potato naman na tinatawag. Ang cause ng black heart of potato ay dahil walang maayos na oxygen doon sa storage area. So mostly ang inaapektuhan ng black heart of potato is yung mga potato na nasa storage area na. Ngayon, kapag yung storage area mo hindi masyadong nakaka-flow ang hangin, wala masyadong oxygen, wala masyadong ventilation, then it is possible na magkaroon ng black heart yung iyong patatas. So ano yung symptom niya? Ito, mismo. Sa gitna ng patatas, mapapansin natin, nagkakaroon ng black spots. So sa labas, okay siya, pero sa loob, hindi siya okay. So hindi rin siya okay na ibenta or i-market. Still, under adverse physical factors, possible, too much or too little light. Kapag too much light, sun scalding, or kakaroon ng sunburn yung halaman mo, or na-dehydrate siya. Kapag naman too little light, syempre apektado din dyan yung kanyang photosynthesis and yung kanyang paglaki. So possible na reduce growth and development doon sa halaman. Another one would be adverse meteorological conditions, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, binibisita tayo lagi ng typhoon. Ngayon, kapag nagkaroon ng typhoon and na-flood yung farm mo, well, na-flood yung farm mo, may epekto yan ngayon sa halaman. So mostly ito, kung mapapansin niyo yung mga tobacco plants dito, dahil na-flood yung area kung saan sila na itinanim, hindi na sila namuhay, nangamatay na sila. Okay? Nagkakaroon din, nag-start din actually yung rotting dyan from the bottom going up. Another type of abiotic disease are injury that is caused by your air pollutants. So, dapat maingat tayo dito. For example, yung ating ozone. Ozone is a type of air pollutant from our atmosphere. Now, kapag from the atmosphere, bumaba yan sa mga halaman natin, isa sa mga classic symptom na mapapansin natin is yung brown spots doon sa dahon ng halaman. This can disrupt photosynthesis and then disrupt yung growth and development ng halaman natin. Another air pollutant that is very common in plants is what we call peroxyacetyl nitrates or our PANS. Ang PANS ay nanggagaling mostly sa mga smog. So kapag smog yung area, mostly present itong air toxin na to. So ano yung symptom niya? Sa dahon ng halaman, mapapansin natin may brownish or reddish spots. And it weakens the plant to be more susceptible into other kinds of pathogenic diseases. Hydrogen fluoride. Very common yan kapag malapit yung taniman mo sa mga factories. Kasi yung factories na yan, nagpo-produce sila ng smoke that contains hydrogen fluoride. Ano yung main na symptom ng hydrogen fluoride? Yung tip ng dahon ng halaman, bigla na lang yan magiging brown and magda-dry up. So, mangangamatay rin yung halaman dyan. So, it is also an injury. Abiotic diseases also pertains to injury caused by air pollutants or air toxins. Another type of abiotic disease or abiotic injury is something that is caused by mineral deficiencies and excesses. Like from this diagram, mapapansin natin yung mga different symptoms of mineral deficiencies like iron deficiency, boron, chlorine, molybdenum, copper, zinc, and manganese deficiency. At the same time, nagkakaroon din tayo ng stress kapag sobra-sobra naman yung minerals na nare-receive ng halaman. Number 4 would be diseases caused or abiotic diseases or stresses that is caused by improper agricultural practices. So tayo yung may kasalanan. For example, nag-overwater ka. So anong nangyari doon sa halaman mo? Nalunod. Nag-underwater ka. So underwater. I mean, hindi ka nagdilig ng sapat. So kulang yung idinilig mo doon sa halaman, therefore yung halaman mo nag-wilt. Poor soil cultivation. Masyadong compacted yung soil mo, hindi mo siya na-cultivate ng maayos. Therefore, hindi nakahinga yung roots ng halaman, then nangamatay yung mga halaman mo. So these are also part of your abiotic diseases. Another one would be, and I think this would be the last one, are diseases caused by naturally occurring toxins or chemicals in the environment itself. Kasi minsan, yung mga halaman natin, nagpuproduce yan ng toxin mismo, either to themselves or to other plants as well. Like for example, yung concept ng allelopathy, right? Na may mga halaman kung saan kapag nagtanim ka ng halaman doon sa tabi niya, nagpuproduce yung halaman na to ng toxin para patayin yung halaman surrounding, yung mga halaman na tumatabi sa kanya. O primarily, ito ay survival mechanism niya para hindi siya maagawan ng nutrients. At the same time, may mga halaman rin na kapag natamaan sila ng sakit, let's say, or na-disrupt yung kanilang mga cells, nagpuproduce sila ng toxin that is self-destructing. toxin na ikamamatay rin nila kapag inatake sila, for example, ng isang pathogenic organism. So these are some of the abiotic diseases that are common in agriculture. And ang mahalaga lang dito is for us to remember kung ano yung difference between biotic and abiotic. And when you say abiotic nga, it is not caused by any living organism, but rather caused by non-living factors.